Listen, I know this is an unpopular opinion, however, I have to admit it. I actually enjoyed Emerald Fennell's Wuthering Heights. Based on the trailer and early set photos, I knew this film wasn't going to be completely faithful to the 1847 classic novel by Emily Bronte. So, since I never read the book before, I decided to experience the film first and give it a chance, eventually proceeding to read the book. After watching this film, I am honestly surprised to see the amount of hate it receives, and wanted to take a moment to highlight all that the movie did right. Even though the film is not entirely perfect without the book loyalty issue, it actually meets the promised expectations. First of all, it's important to keep in mind that this is Emerald Fennell's version of Wuthering Heights. From the release of its trailer, it was clear that it had her label approach as a filmmaker, promising a vibrant and provocative period film with a modern twist. Fennell specifically said that this film wasn't an adaptation of Wuthering Heights, but rather an interpretation of it, inspired by the emotion she had when reading the book at age 14. A version, as she stated, isn't quite real, inserting and deleting scenes to add events she would want to happen and never did. There have been countless adaptations of the classic novel, and there will be more to come, so I think it's only fair for Emerald to make her vision stand on its own, and select which themes she wants to focus on. Emily Bronte delivered a book that is dense and complicated in a beautiful way that any director would struggle to bring to life. Emerald's 14-year-old lens was actually effective to bring every emotion to the extreme, focusing on the unhealthy and destructive nature between Cathy and Heathcliff. Given that the core element of the film is the visceral romance between Cathy and Heathcliff, themes as class and gender are not as important as they are in the book, allowing Emerald to cast Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi as her protagonists. Both of them are pretty good at their roles, bringing the electricity and obsession between them. Most of the characters in this film are unlikable, but that's alright, because that's how they should be in the first place. Margot Robbie perfectly captures Kathy's spoiled and selfish personality. However, her acting was on point that even though the things her character was doing were morally wrong, I still felt bad for her, especially in the third act of the film. The age difference between Kathy in the book and Kathy in the film did not bother me, because it intensified the reason of her regrets as her desperation to get married and leave poverty cost her the opportunity to have a romance with Heathcliff. Jacob Elordi's physicality is also not as the one mentioned in the book, but his performance still deserves recognition as his size balanced the cruelty of his character Heathcliff with the desire to protect Kathy at all costs. It was interesting seeing a softer edge to his character that might have not been emphasized in previous adaptations. The marketing of this film, although controversial, was clever at revealing the themes explored in this film, appealing to new audiences and perhaps inspired them to read the book for the first time. In my opinion, it reveals changes early on from giving fans enough time to decide whether or not to give this film a chance. I like that it was less raunchy and explicit than what I had anticipated. Instead, the film is more suggestive, making the audience believe that they saw more than what they actually did. The costume design, scenery, and musical elements of the movie made it feel immersive. Even the hair design impressed me, as I noticed that many of Kathy's hairstyles appeared to give her devil horns. Her costumes were stunning even when they were not period accurate. They played a pivotal role, demonstrating that even though with Edgar she had a family and luxuries, she internally felt like a prisoner. Emerald Fennell did give us dark and gothic themes, even if most of us don't want to see them. There was self-betrayal, manipulation, trauma bonds, twisted relationships, and I applaud Emerald Fennell's bravery to release a film that evokes emotion, without the fear of criticism.